Hey, Jason Palliser here with the No Flipping Excuses channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you investors. So what we're going to do is Mike is going to just give me a topic and so that we can go off the cuff. So normally you have a subject and I know it ahead of time. So we've been doing for the past couple days now, just you hit me with a topic and we're going to flush that topic out. So I don't know what's coming, which is kind of fun for me and kind of nerve wracking at the same time. So he's just going to give me a subject and then we're going to roll with it. Okay. So now having said that, like the channel, subscribe and make comments. The more comments you make, the more we shoot videos on those topics. But I don't know what you're going to hit me with, but whatever it is, we're going to flush it out just to make sure that you as an investor can take what we are teaching you here in this video and run with it. So having said that, quasi nervous a little bit, don't know what's coming. What is the topic that I'm going to be talking about in this video?
I've got a hat. I've got a hat of ideas, comments that have been pulled out of, you can see they're all written down in there, of comments that have been pulled out from the previous videos, and I'm just going to pull one out. Just going to pull one out. Oh, let's see. Put the hat away.
Where did you come up with that hat, by the way? Okay, whatever.
I just thought it would be more fun.
Okay.
So one viewer out there would like to know, and I don't know who this is because I don't write the names down, but maybe in the future we'll start doing that. What are the 5 things I should know getting started before I start doing real estate? Top 5 things.
Top 5 things from a flip standpoint or rental?
From a beginning on a wholesale standpoint.
Okay, so top 5 things from a wholesaling standpoint.
Yeah,
okay.
and I'm gonna count them off so we don't lose track. Let's start with number 1.
5 things if you're getting started. Some things, quite frankly, some things that maybe I wish I would have known when I.
That's what we're going for right now. You, Jason Palliser, you're brand new into investing and brand new to wholesaling.
Okay.
What's the first thing you need to know?
So first thing, and again, didn't know what subject was coming, so this is kind of fun for me. So I would say, okay, in wholesaling, a few things that are important that I wish I kind of would have like just committed to memory or just knew in my bones that this was important versus that, because there's so much information out there. One of them would be, which is one of my favorite things to do, is if you want to make more money per contract that you write, per property that you wholesale, one of the phrases that it's my favorite thing to do when there's multiple people that are interested in the property is to give them a final time frame and tell them highest and best. Meaning this: when you have multiple people that are interested in a property that you worked hard to get under contract that you're going to wholesale, and let's say you have it under contract for $100,000. Somebody else may say, hey, I want it for 105, or hey, I want it for 108. And you got 2 people and you're trying to decide between which one do you think you want to work with. So here's what I would tell you. Hey, look, I've got multiple parties interested. Just give me your highest and best offer by Tuesday at 5 p.m. And then I'll let you know and we'll go from there. If you just do highest and best, people are competitive. So by human nature, you may end up getting more out of the contract. So that's one thing that I would say if you're getting started that I wish I really would have anchored in on or knew to do when I was first getting started. Does that make sense?
So number 1 thing is to always go with your highest and best.
Yeah, ask for highest and best
Always
offer.
ask for the highest and best offer. Okay, so that's number 1.
Because that pits 2 people against themselves.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. All right, so write that down, highest and best offer. Make sure you get that from everyone. What is going to be the second thing?
The second thing that I would tell everybody is that get the most time in your inspection window that you can out of the seller. The more time that you have built into a contract, whether it's a 30-day contract, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we'll close in 30 days. I'll make this easy for you. The way you're going to wholesale it is you give yourself an inspection window, which is your time to inspect the property, of course, but then also have other people view the property and digest what they want to do and come up with a number to give you, right? So squeeze the most time you can out of the seller for an inspection period, because that is your time frame to find an end buyer. So the second thing that I would tell you, without a doubt, is to make sure that you get the longest inspection period written into the contract between you and the seller that you can get.
The inspection window, and that's pretty important, especially when it comes to putting together your wholesale deals. Understanding that you're going to need that window, and that nobody's going to have a problem giving you that window when you ask the right way.
Yeah, correct. And give them pushback. You know, you're coming to an agreement. Don't be scared. Okay, so what I would say is don't be scared from the standpoint of if they say, hey, you know, I'll give you 10 days back. Well, look, I'm going to have 2 or 3 people give me bids so that I know that everything is perfect here. I really do, just in case they have other things going on, I really need 14 days. So the longer time frame that you can get, the better. So that's the second thing.
Okay. Highest and best is number 1. Giving yourself that inspection window is number 2. Jason, what about number 3? Where are we at?
And again, I'm going off the cuff here.
This is a question. I don't know if you can read that. It's written down from the comments.
Yeah. So the third thing, just going off the top of my head that I would tell people is, hey, while you're learning, stop for a second and get the book, The Art of Flipping Deals. Here's how easy it is. Just go to the website, theflippingbook.com, and what you're going to have is an instant download on how we flip deal after deal after deal with predictability that others can't find. Just make sure that you do your best to use the same title company. And I always try and use the title company that I like to work with. So an investor-friendly title company, but try and get both sides of the transaction at the same title company. Because not all title companies play nice together, right? You may be working with an investor-friendly title company that knows how to do these transactions. They do 40 or 50 of them a month for 20 other investors in town. It'll run smoothly, but where things start to fall apart is if the other end buyer that you have goes to a different title company, right? Because now they got to coordinate numbers, make sure everything's correct, and they may not allow the transaction to close the way that you want. That's the third thing that I would say is try and get all parties to the transaction to use the same title company. Just trying to make your life easy if you're getting started in some very good do's and don'ts and some things that I wish I would have known when I was getting started. So that would be the third thing that I would say.
And it's really not going to be that hard to get everybody on the same page with the same title company. More than likely, the investors you're working with already are familiar with the investor-friendly title companies and may already have closed deals with that person. So just suggesting, hey, can we close with this? More than likely, they're going to be fine with. And we're coming up on number 4. Now, before we do, we appreciate you guys sticking along in this video this long. Stay tuned till the end because we always give away special tips and tricks and resources to you that you can use, especially that can guide you through step by step on this path. But working on number 4, Jason, of the top 5 things that I wish I knew as a wholesaler, what would the number 4th one be?
Again, on the spot.
On the spot.
I'm literally racking my brain while he's talking, just so you folks know. So the 4th one, a lot of people may not bring up, but it's important to me because I want to maximize every contract that I write. Another thing that I would do, if you're being a responsible CEO of your company that you're growing, then you want to get the most money out of every contract that you write, correct? So one thing that I would tell you to try and increase the profitability per contract. So instead of on average making $15,000 per contract, maybe you can bump it up to $22,000 or $23,000. Okay, so one thing that you could do is this. This is actually one of my favorite ones, by the way. One thing that you could do is simply ask around town, go in your local real estate Facebook groups or network, and find out who your Airbnb buyers are. That is one surefire way to get more money out of a property. Use me for an example. We love to do Airbnbs. So we don't evaluate a house that let's say in the area, most houses rent for $2,000. We evaluate it as an Airbnb where it might make us $4,500, right? Double. So if you were trying to get 120 because you out of a contract that you wrote because you got it under contract for 100, making $20,000, where some of the regular investor buyers in town might give you 120 or 115 and you're trying to squeeze out 20, I might be willing to pay 140. So what I would do is make it your business to know where all the Airbnb buyers are, because the Airbnb buyers pay more. So that is a big tip for me that I wish I would have known, like as I was getting my rhythm and as the years marched forward and I was doing more transactions and more transactions, if I would have also spent some time as a smart investor, I would have made it my business to know every Airbnb buyer in town because they can pay more because they're going to make a lot more money on the rental side.
You know, Jay, it seems like kind of an obvious play. Before we get to the last one here, it seems like kind of an obvious play that you should go after B&B buyers. Why was it that when you were getting started that you didn't do that? What was holding you back from expanding the people that you were looking to, do business with?
Well, one was my age. You can't tell here. So one was my age, meaning that Airbnb wasn't around when I first got started.
Okay.
But as we're doing more and more transactions and hitting 5, 10, 15, 20 closings in a calendar month, and Airbnb became more prevalent, I just didn't devote any time to it. But what happened is this: I learned from experience, meaning this. I sold one property that I was trying to make 30 grand on to an Airbnb buyer, and they paid 55. And I'm like, hey, you paid it. I told them after the fact, because they wanted more from me though. I'm like, you paid a lot more than everybody else. And they literally, boom, popped me straight back in the face. Like, I still would have paid an extra 20 on top of that. I'm like, son of a.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
Dun. Boom. You could have paid another 20,000 more.
Yeah, absolutely. So just like John Madden, boom. Yeah. So I got a big old freaking boom right in the face. I thought I was like, hey, you did pay quite a bit more than everybody else. He's like, truth be told, I would have paid an extra 20 on top of that. And I was like, and I go, why? And he goes, because I don't evaluate this as a regular rental. So folks, if you're wanting to maximize, so let me speak to you here. If you want to maximize your contracts, just find out where all the Airbnb buyers are. That's a huge benefit to you, right? So that's a very good one to make more money per contract, because you want to be more profitable per freaking contract. End of story.
Well, Jason, that's going to bring us to lucky number 5. And let's just give a shout out and a big thanks to the person who did ask this question. If you have a question very similar to this, comment below. Let us know what it is. There is a good chance it'll end up in our bag of questions, and it might get picked out the next time we have another video. But Jason, since we're on the last one here, number 5, what is the last of the 5 things that you would have liked to have known, wished to have known as a wholesaler getting started? Well, let's recap too. We've got highest and best. Mm-hmm. We've got giving yourself that time window for the inspection.
Yep.
We've got connecting yourself with a title company.
Yeah.
And then we've got
closing at the same title company.
Closing at the same title company, my bad.
Yeah.
And then also expanding your cash buyers to talk to Airbnb buyers, people who are willing to pay more because they look at the deal differently. Mm-hmm. That's where we're at right now. Let's talk about lucky number 5.
Okay. So again, off the cuff and trying to think through, right? It's because just getting hit out of the blue on this. So the last thing I'm going to tell you is this: your reputation in the marketplace means everything. So make it easy for people to buy from you. And again, I wish I would have known this right out of the gate. I'm like, hey, I got a deal under contract. Who wants it? And, but I didn't do anything else. Like, I literally let everybody fend for themselves. So what I mean by that is your reputation means everything. So be user friendly from this standpoint. Tell them, hey, here's exactly what needs to be fixed. Here's all the pictures. Here's the time frames that I'm under. Is there anything else that you need? I'm going to give you every piece of information possible for you to make a good decision. So don't leave it up to them to make their own interpretations. Let them know. Here's all the stuff. Here's every piece of information that I can provide you so that you can make a good decision on this property. Don't just say, here's an address, here's what I want for it. Make it easy for them. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. And what you're doing is chewing up valuable time in your contract. You might run out of time and you have to renegotiate or lose the deal altogether. So put all the information that you can together up front to make it easy for the people on the back end to work with you, because they'll tell everyone else in town, yeah, they made it easy for me. They gave me all the information. Don't send them on a fact-finding mission. That, quite frankly, some people that are busy, that could be a good buyer for you for the next 15, 20 properties. You could piss them off and lose the relationship. So don't do that. So your reputation should be, I give you all the information that I can up front to make it really easy to work with me. So that, off the top of my head, that would be a really good one as well, that you should weave into the fabric of your business and how you run it as a high priority.
Could you imagine that if I was a cash buyer, you were selling a property, or even if it was reversed, and you approached me to work with me and you're like, yeah, I would love to work with you. Here is this incredible and complex treasure map that you need to follow, and it'll take you right to my deals. You're going to love it. You're going to have a great time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pass.
Like, Make this easy, folks. Like, do not make it hard to work with you.
Excellent. 5 different things pulled randomly out of the hat. Thank you again to the listener, the viewer out there that's made their time to post this question. If you have a question very similar to this and you would like it added to the hat that I will spontaneously pull out of, might be a hat, might be a spinning wheel, who knows what it's going to be at this point. But if you want it to be randomly asked to Jason Palliser, we'll make a show out of it and we'll get you those next steps to put you on the path to closing your next deal. But otherwise, Jason, anything from you?
Just subscribe to the channel. We got more good stuff coming, folks. Reach out to us. We're here to help you.
We'll see you soon.
Bye. Hey, here's what I want you to do. Let's take your learning to another level. I know you have questions, so schedule a call with me. Go to 2daycall.com, fill out a form, and get on my calendar so I can help you start closing deal after deal and answer all your questions to put you on a path to predictable closings.